Does anybody have an eraser?
I'll check and make sure I don't have one.
I'm sure it's.
I might, you never know. I never know what's in here.
Scrape out the end of this one.
Oh, I got this one. Yeah.
It's just a dot. Sorry.
No. Mm.
Here you go, thank you.
Oh, sure.
Yes,
Does this make sense?
Liam, what's your last name?
Lockhart. Lockhart.
My resource is a little more in depth. Cool.
Does mine work okay? Let's go eat our food.
I guess we could.
Are we taking a little break between
Oh, how are we
Or-
doing this?
What, between these
the
forms?
evaluation and
And
lecture, or? We just need to heat up our food around the corner if we don't get caught. We've gotten in trouble for it. We protest, though. We are subversives, so we're gonna go do it
That I
right now.
know.
Like we had to tell you that. Okay. You're still on, just
Nah.
do an impromptu deployment.
Bless you. Such a musical class.
Should I collect?
Thank you, Marcy. How are you doing today? Good. Yeah, is it a good week? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
What's our film today? I forgot.
400 Blows, Francois Truffaut.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it, Jenny?
No, but I remember you talking about it last week.
It's a beautiful film. And it'll be our last one in black and white.
We're actually gonna get us color in a film history class?
You guys have been so tolerant. I've been so delighted with that.
I think for the most part, black and white films are more aesthetically appealing than color ones.
I would
The
have to
color's so
agree.
distracting.
That's exactly it. I feel the same way, Jenny. In black and white, I think you have a better chance to appreciate the composition. Certainly the balance between light and dark.
Yeah.
And you're right, with color, it's just,
I like black and white films a lot.
nice, nice.
I like that movie, that recent movie by Brian Anderson,
The Grand Budapest Hotel?
yes, but like a lot of movies, the reason I think that color is because it can be so disparate all over, the color, if it doesn't have like if they didn't choose a theme, or maybe they did, but it's not always, color can be really different in like even one frame.
Yeah.
And that's why that it can be distracting.
I think in films where it's more, like Amelie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is a really lovely use of color, I think. And there you have a predominant like yellow tinge to everything, muted yellows, muted greens. Definitely in control of the color palette, not just
Yeah.
leaving it
Yeah.
haphazard.
That was a little odd though, it took some getting used to.
Yeah,
First time I saw it, I was like, am I watching this in sepia?
yeah.
It was really odd.
And it's interesting, I didn't know if it was the same cinematographer, and I've forgotten his name now, but his follow-up movie, Junot's follow-up movie, A Very Long Engagement, has that same kind of sepia yellow tint throughout it. Just occasional little bursts. I know, I started watching it again the other day and realized I'd already seen it and didn't finish watching it. Has anyone seen A Very Long Engagement?
I don't think so, no.
A young lady who is proposed to by a soldier before he takes off for World War I.
Oh, wow.
The war ends and she hasn't heard from him and starts to hunt him down, finds his other,
Wait, what is it called again?
A Very Long Engagement.
Did you say that's Jodie Foster?
Yes,
It is, okay. Yeah,
It
Jodie
sounds
Foster.
more like Charlotte Gray. Charlotte Gray.
Charlotte Gray. Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's all.
Doesn't Milton show that in his class? Yeah, that's what I thought, because I just saw the DVD over there.
Yeah. But it's something like that. They're not engaged, but she goes out to him and.
This is her husband. But that's World War II as well, right?
Right.
Yeah. This is back in World War I where they're all sticking their hands up out of the trenches with the cigarettes so they can get shot. They get shot in the hand and then they try to, get dismissed from the front lines. But in this case, the French have caught on and they're like, no, we're gonna execute you. So her fiance is one of 4 men that are gonna be executed, and that's kind of like, and you don't see the result of it, and then you go into after the war and you're wondering, is he still alive or was he shot to death,
Real story?
It's not a true story.
No.
But that aspect was true. I mean, you used to try to. Is it the old saying, 3 on a match? You never light 3 cigarettes? Because the first one lets the sniper know that you're out there, the second helps him get the aim, and by the third he's got the aim, then he can fire.
Oh, wow.
So, 2 on a match. Yes,
Okay.
if you take nothing else from this class. She's like, I don't even smoke, why are you telling me this?
Just in case.
But I do like
Just in case.
candles. I do like candles.
Okay, it's only 2 candles. Would you guys like a little break now or after the lecture or what? I mean, it seems kind of weird. I've already, gotten.
Let's start.
Let's start?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just jump into the lecture. Why not? Last week's screening of Wild Strawberries. Wow, I was really touched afterwards, actually, by Stephen, what you had to share and what Bodhi had to share, and I felt I didn't have an answer to your questions. And then, as I was leaving the class, there's this beautiful French saying, l'esprit d'escalier, the spirit of the staircase. It's basically when you're leaving, and you realize, oh, God damn it, I should have said that. And it's too, it's that afterthought, oh, if only I had said that. And I think that is a wonderful French expression, the spirit of the staircase. It's like you're already walking away. Ah, damn it, why didn't I say that? And what I should have said was, if the movie last week left you with those feelings, believe it or not, maybe the movie this week might answer some of those questions. And I'm not just throwing that out. I mean, seriously, I got home and I was thinking about what you had to say, and then I realized, and I said, well, what's coming up next? And I saw it was the 400 Blows, and I said, maybe this is going to fill in some of the things. Because Wild Strawberries, and I'm not denigrating the movie in any way, but I think it is a film that when you get along in life, that maybe you tend to appreciate it more. I mean, I'm now in my 50s, and the film really resonates with me, but I can understand if I was younger that it probably wouldn't have the same impact. But I think 400 Blows, because we're going to be seeing life through the eyes of a young, rebellious youth, and how he tries to make sense out of his existence, and how he tries to find a future that will offer him hope and promise. So we'll see. We'll see if this film might answer some of those questions. Indeed, we are moving into a whole new movement with this film. It's so weird. This is the first time I think I've ever shown 4 films from the 1950s in one class. And indeed, we have had 4. We had Rashomon, we had Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Wild Strawberries, and now we're finally going to wrap up that decade with the birth of the French New Wave. The Nouvelle Vague, if you will. This is an interesting movement. It kind of came about thanks to a literary publication that was existent in France and still is to this day, a publication known as Cahiers du Cinéma, or Notes on the Cinema, or Cinematic Notebook, if you will. The founder, the editor of this publication was André Bazin, who was the leading French film theorist of his day. And some of the early writers for his publication would go on to become major filmmakers in their own right. I'm talking about such directors as François Truffaut, Jean-Luc Godard, Eric Rohmer, Claude Chabrol, Jacques Rivette, you name it. They all started off as being critics for this particular publication, and then would become full-fledged film directors in their own right. Something that we kind of take for granted today, or at least I do in my classes, is what's known as the auteur theory, which is basically the French word for author. I always, look at the director of films as being my signature trademark. The films of Howard Hawks, the films of John Ford, the films of Alfred Hitchcock. There was a period when people would categorize films by the studios that they came out of. Oh, it was a Warner Brothers picture. Oh, it was a Paramount. Because in the early days of cinema, I think we talked about how different studios had kind of found a different demographic for themselves. Universal, launching onto the horror films. Warner Brothers would be like the mystery stories. Another one would be love stories. It wasn't until the 1950s and Cahiers du Cinéma that this auteur theory would come about. And basically what that meant was you don't look at the actors in a film, you don't look at the studio that the film came from. In order to find some sort of coherency or continuity, you look at the director, which only makes sense. You look at the director as the man who's putting his personal imprint, or hers, upon the work of art that's being produced. So, for instance, they would look at the films of John Ford and say, they're primarily Westerns. In fact, his very first film, Stagecoach, not first film, but his early film, Stagecoach, kind of set the template